So today we have a Japanese knife. It's got a nice little chip out the front here. It's fairly significant. It's probably about 1.5 millimeters deep. Carbon steel with a stainless cladding. It's really nice. What we're going to do first is protect the handle with some masking tape. Then I'm going to go and use a belt sander to take this chip out. I'll take as little material as possible off here just to keep the profile correct, get rid of the chip, and maybe set a very rough bevel. Then we'll come back up here and I will set the bevel where I would like it to be, and then we will lower the knife and do a little bit of thinning. I'm going to lower it as low as possible without actually touching the sides. The knife's still very thin, and because it's come in with significant chipping all along the edge with one big chip, I don't want it to be as thin as it was because I'd like it to last a little bit longer. So it will still be thin. It'll have a secondary thinning bevel, and then it'll have a very fine primary cutting bevel. Okay, so this is how I protect the handles. I'm going to do what you call reverse taping. So I've got the sticky side up. First wrap is a little tricky. Tape sticks to itself, no glue goes on the handle. And then we wrap it nice and tight. A little bit of an overlap. Flip the tape around and we cover all the sticky stuff up. The handle shape doesn't lend itself to wrapping very well in one direction ever. Okay. Doesn't need to look pretty, just needs to cover that handle, keep the water off it, keep all the grinding dust off it, prevent it from being damaged, and that is it. Okay, we are back from getting the chips out. As you can see, there's still a significant amount of core steel sticking out of here. The knife's still very, very thin. So it's not really necessary to thin this out completely. It would just destroy the beautiful finish for no reason. So what I'm going to do is set the bevels to approximately a 15-degree angle. I've got a little cheat over here which just gives me a bit of guidance. I can do it without that, but that gives me a specific angle. I'll then set a secondary bevel at a much lower angle, and then we'll move up through the grit progression. So here we go. Set it at 15 degrees and not too much pressure. This diamond cuts really, really quickly. Just quickly set the bevel. Being careful to get the tip, but not round it off. Same thing on the heel, keeping fingers nice and close to the edge. It's looking good. I just need to get a little more by the tip, that angle. There we go. It's better to miss the tip and then come back and get it than it is to round it over, because once the steel's off, you can't put it back on. Other hand, set the angle. checking the bevels, make sure they're equal. This needs a little bit more on that side, so we'll do that. Got a good tip, got it all the way to the heel. That's looking good. Couple more passes and we should be where we need to be. There's no need to put excessive force on this. The diamonds cut very well. Make short work of this. And that is it. So I'm just going to quickly take a little bit of the burr off. Very light pressure. And that is it. Okay, I'm going to drop the angle down. That's flat. We're going to just raise it up just a tiny bit and get that secondary bevel on there. Use your finger as a bit of a guide. That's nice. So the bevel's about 3 times as wide as it was now, and you can just see the little primary bevel at the end of that secondary bevel there. Still feels nice and thin. Haven't got to the edge, which is what I wanted to do. So same thing, put it flat, raise it just a little bit, and there we go. It looks good to me. It's important to keep looking at what you're doing, making sure you're working consistently and getting everything evenly. Trying to get a little bit more at the heel here. Same thing on the other side. There we go. Right, that's the primary and secondary bevel set. This knife will cut the odd hair already. Right, let's move on. Next in the progression is a 400 grit. It'll just refine the scratch pattern from the diamond plate. I've chosen Chosera Naniwa Pro stones. I really like them. I've used some others in the past. These are really nice because it's a splash and go stone, so you don't need to soak it endlessly. You can take it out and use it straight away, which is a really big benefit. Just using the little Nagara, give it a quick clean up, get some fresh grit out there so it cuts a bit quicker. Also take off any small high spots. Also work over a tub with a separate bowl It allows me to get all the waste product off the stone into my tub without making a mess, and at the same time I keep the water clean and free of contamination. So as I move up in the grits, I don't get the bigger grit from this stone in, say, the 5,000 grit stone for finishing. So here we go, the water, nice flat angle, and we just give this a couple of passes on each side. And I'm trying to use as much of the stone surface as I can so that I have to do less flattening of the stone as time goes on. Nice. Moving on to the other side. Again, not a lot of pressure. This is a really nice cutting stone. Doesn't have a lot of work to do at this point in time because diamond stone's done all hard work. That looks nice. Okay, and I will just set the 15° again. This really just takes a couple of very light passes. It's a very small bevel at this point, so you don't want to take too much steel off there and spoil that little micro bevel. Really got a burr up. Can see all the coarse grains out from the diamond plate. Important to feel for a burr. You need to make sure you're getting the burr from both sides all the way down the length of the blade. Do not have a burr at the tip. And there it is. Very light strokes. Get that burr nice and small. It's already almost completely off. Feels good. Moving on. $1,000 grit. Get this a little bit wet. Same thing, going to start at a nice low angle, polish that bevel up, get the coarser scratches out. Not only does it look better, but it also feels better when you're cutting. It gives a nice quiet cut. You get a little bit more by the heel. Seems like the heel is always a difficult place to make sure you get it completely. Okay. Go on to the other side, same thing, nice low angle. Nearly there. So I did do a little bit more on the one side than the other. That's because I noticed that my bevels weren't exactly the same on each side. Okay, that's the secondary bevel done. Now I'll just do a couple of passes on the primary bevel. 15 degrees. Very light pressure. All we're doing is refining that scratch pattern. We already have an apex. We have that burr all the way down, 15 degrees. You can hear that burr. It's very small, but you can still hear it. Okay. Let's get the burr off. You can hear the little ticks as that burr comes off. Don't want the little bits of metal to damage that nice fresh edge. So we're hardly touching the stone at this point. Feel another piece of burr come off there. After a couple of alternating strokes, the burr is completely removed off this knife. It's already ready to go, but we're going to take it one step further. Move the stone out the way. And grab the 5000 grit. And we're going to do the process again. Nice low angle. Again, this isn't just for aesthetics. Keeping the secondary bevel nice and smooth gives a good cutting feel. Doesn't roughen up the beautiful cuts you're making with your fine edge as the knife passes through. It's already super shiny. Other side, angle. Looking really good. Okay, I will take our 15-degree angle again. So a couple of very quick passes. Again, you're just refining the scratch pattern. Don't want to deform the edge. Don't want to create a massive burr. Give it a little bit of a polish up. And now removal of the burr. Couple of alternating strokes. I don't even think I'm using the weight of the knife on this at the moment. Can kind of hear and feel when the edge becomes nice and clean. I think we are around about there. Obligatory shaving test. This knife is sharp. And that's how I do that. And what better way to test a knife than to do a little bit of paper cutting. Beautiful, smooth, no catches. Easily push cutting into the side of the paper. Tip. This knife's going to cut really well. Beautiful. And now there's only one more thing to do, and that's to protect this blade. And to do that I'm going to use some tsubaki or camellia oil. This is an organic one. Food safe oil. It's been used for a long time in Japan on protecting steel and in beauty products and various other things. You really don't need a lot of it. This is actually far too much. A very, very light coat. Protects the carbon steel more than it would a stainless steel. And we'll just put a little bit on the handle. The benefit of this oil over just using a normal cooking oil is that it doesn't get sticky and go rancid with time. It's really safe. Just wipe the excess off. This is a really cool little knife. Beautiful. That is awesome.